Hey there, and welcome to another episode of your favorite libertarian. In today's episode, we are going to be continuing a series on home defense shotguns featuring the Beretta 1301, a tactical. Cue the oohs and ahs, am I right? Today we're going to be attaching a sling, and we're going to be doing so in a cost-effective manner because for many people who bought this shotgun for $1,500-ish, you're probably looking to save some money when accessorizing if you want to attach a sling. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be installing a very inexpensive, very minimal piece of kit so that we can attach a 2-point QD sling. And we'll also be talking towards the end of the video about why you may or may not want to attach a sling to your home defense shotgun. But first, let's see what attachment methods we have currently. I can attach it here, but not so much here or here or here. So we're going to change that right now with the MSA QD MOE sling attachment. And now it's time for everyone's favorite portion of the video, what's in the box? This is the portion of the video where I show you what's in the box. In this case, it's kind of like a bag, but we'll open it and show you what it comes with. I was doing some research on the internet, came across this little beauty. This lets you take, Magpul sticker, squirrel. This lets you take different areas of your firearm, whether it be like a handguard, that's an MOE handguard, or maybe a stock, and it allows you to install a QD point wherever you want. Let's see what comes in the packaging. As you can see, you've got your instructions here. Feel free to pause that and view it at your leisure. All right, so you have the QD itself. You have your hardware, which consists of 2 bolts, 2 nuts. Those are going to go into these smaller holes, and it'll keep it from wanting to come out when your sling's pulling up against it. It comes with, I guess, a bit. I don't know how usable it's going to be, but it comes with a bit to make your hole for the center here, and that is going to allow the QD to be able to go all the way through whatever new hole you're making in your stock or wherever else. All right, so let's talk about prep for this project. You need to take off this butt pad because we're going to need to install nuts behind it. So in order to do that, you're going to take a Phillips head screwdriver or something a bit more powerful, but go slow if you're using something like this to take these 2 screws out. They're long screws, so I'm just doing this for the sake of time. But if you really want to take your time and make sure you're not damaging anything, then you want to use a screwdriver. All right, so once you've loosened that enough, you can take your butt pad off, take your spacer off if you're using a spacer, and then you can see inside of your stock. What we mostly want to make sure is that there's nothing in the way on either side of here, and there isn't. So as long as we don't go super high or super low, we're going to be fine in where we're drilling. Now at this point, we're going to select our bits because ultimately, before we make the big hole, we need to make 2 smaller holes to be able to fit these. Before we do that though, we are going to position this where we want it on the stock. We're going to take some duct tape and tape it so that it's not going to move as we're making our holes for these. And then once we have everything screwed in, then this will be in one place and won't be able to move so that we can make our last big hole. All right, so I've taken some duct tape, I've rolled it over itself, put it underneath this to make sure it's sticking and not sliding around. And then I took another piece of duct tape and I went over top just to make sure that this is moving very little as I am creating marks to then do my pilot holes, to then do my full-size holes for these 2 spots here. All right, so those marks look good. I had some trouble with the pencil, but I ended up just lining up that initial bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and then I'll use my drill to start making the smaller holes. Also, for stability, it helps if you take off your side saddle. If you have a side saddle and you remove that, the shotgun will lay flatter so that you can have a stable platform to start making your initial holes in. Okay, so now we have our 2 smaller holes. Now we're going to take the larger bit, put that in our drill, and then we will make our bigger holes for the hardware to go through. Pro tip, when you're done drilling, make sure that you're tipping this upward as long as it's a safe direction. So barrel up and then getting any excess plastic shavings out, because otherwise, if you try to blow in there, it's just gonna push all of the plastic shavings further into the stock. If you care about that or not, that's up to you, but just giving you the information. All right, so now we are going to install this guy with these nuts behind them, and we are going to need a T20 bit to do so. So actually, if you want to get really specific, this is the bit that you need. You guys can see that. So I was able to get these through the holes. I did actually make it threaded through the plastic because I did do the hole slightly smaller than this. Pros and cons to that. You might not want to do that, or you might want to do that depending on if you're worried about the thread locker that's included coming off as you're going through the plastic. Now we're going to go ahead and go on the underside and put our nuts on. The nuts are going to go this way, so the smooth side will be up against the plastic on the inside. And you'll want to make sure that when you have these both on, that they are in this configuration, because if they are facing this way, they're going to be covering the hole that you're going to be drilling. Make sense? All right, let's do it. Here's what I ended up having to do. I had to use this to tighten, but then on the other end, I had to hold this in place so that it would stay tight up against this plastic while it was turning. Let's try this on this drill and see how it goes. I don't know how well it's gonna grab, but we're going through plastic, so it's probably not gonna be that bad. And for the sake of time, zzz, all done. All right, so one thing you wanna make sure you do when drilling this hole, you just stay dead center so you don't get any metal shavings. I started seeing some metal shavings, but they're actually coming off of the bit as it was rotating into the plastic. It just like shaved off some of the metal shavings from this, but there isn't actually any from the item that we're installing, which is good. One thing you want to make sure you do is check your QD, make sure it clicks in, because if it doesn't, you're going to have to get this bit as far out as you possibly can and make sure this full diameter is going all the way through the hole, because there's a little bit of excess on the inside here and it was preventing the QD from clicking in all the way. So after testing it out, I noticed that was happening and I was able to make sure the diameter was exactly the same on top as it was on bottom of the hole, and it clicks in great now and it doesn't come out. After sitting through that boring installation footage, you've earned yourself some B-roll. Enjoy. Are you guys curious at all what sling I'm running on this shotgun and or how to use the sling? Then keep watching. All right, so here is the gun all slinged up. I have a Haley Strategic D3 SLK on this. Pros and cons to this, I really like it. I've actually reverse engineered it so that when you pull it towards you, it tightens. When you pull it away from you, it loosens. I really like that setup. And that's how I have all my slings. All my slings are this sling. This is kind of a placeholder though, because I cut this down to a specific length for specific platforms, so that way it would not have any excess hanging off or dangling or getting caught on stuff. But because of that, it doesn't have as much slack as I would like with this shotgun. So we'll talk about that. Also, for the attachment points from Beretta, you can freely rotate this, which is not great. This gets tangled sometimes and I have to untwist it, which isn't awesome. But for what I just installed, which is the Magpul QD, it does lock in place, but there aren't a ton of positions, so you can only really lock it in this position, or just the opposite of this, which I don't know what good that would do you. So at least this isn't rotating, which is good. Now let me show you what I mean by how much slack I have. So for a home defense shotgun, I like to have the sling completely open as much as possible, at least as much as I need to, so that in the middle of the night I can just throw it on like a necklace, and then I have it attached to me and I can use it. It's okay if I'm just going from a low ready and coming up, because I have enough slack to do that. The problem is if I'm trying to do like a high ready, which I like to do, and come up, there's not a whole lot of room. You can see this is not ideal. And also if I need to load from this position, this is not ideal either. Now you could violin load, but I much prefer being able to rest this on my hip, take all the weight off of it and load that way, and then come back up. So this sling being so short is not ideal for that. I would like to just get this sling in a longer configuration, and then I think this would probably be a really good setup. Let's talk about ways that you can use a sling. So right now I just have it on as a necklace. I can still go hands-free, and then I can pick it up and use it very quickly, but I'm still hands-free. We'll talk about the reasons why you might want to have a sling and might want to be hands-free a little bit later, but for right now, I can use it like this. This is not going to be as stable of a platform if someone's trying to take this off of you, because they can just pick it up and pull it off of you. So another way that you can use the sling is you can swim into it. So you're going to take your hand, swim in, and then you have it over your whole body as opposed to just over your neck. This is a lot more stable. It's a lot harder for someone to get this off of you. And if you're having to stand for long periods of time, if you're like on patrol or you have to stand somewhere, like you're on guard duty or something, this is a lot more comfortable. It distributes the weight better and you're not having all that weight on your neck. So this is one way to use the sling as well. Now, if you need to take a long distance shot and you need to do it standing for some reason and you want stability, then you can stay swimmed into the sling like this, pull it up, and then you can use your elbow and turn it in to tighten your sling, and then you have a really stable shooting platform like that. I think those are pretty much all the ways you can use the sling, and then you can swim out and just use it like that, or you can swim completely out and you can just use it like this, and then if you need to put it back on, you can just put it back on like a necklace again.
But why would you want a sling on a home defense shotgun?
As far as reasons why you may or may not want a sling on your home defense shotgun, or any home defense long gun for that matter, let's talk about the first one. And I think this is a really big one that a lot of people overlook. Home defense distances are very short. Let's say you're at the top of a staircase pointed down at a bunch of bad guys trying to come into your house, or trying to get up to the level where you and your family and your kids are, and you're the person in between all that. That's about 5 yards. So if we're talking reactionary gap is 21 feet, 5 yards is 15 feet. You have even less of a reactionary gap between you and a bad guy that's just running full sprint up the stairs with an axe or a knife or a gun or whatever, or maybe trying to get to you to take your gun and use it against you and your family. So that reactionary gap is very short, and having something that keeps your gun on you so that someone can't take it off of you is ideal in that situation. Another reason why you might want to have a sling on you is to go hands-free. Now, there's a couple reasons why you might want to or need to go hands-free and still retain your weapon. One of which is in a scenario where rounds are going both directions in a gunfight in a home defense scenario. You might need to patch yourself up, or other members of your family up, or other members of your household up. And ideally, it's a lot easier to do that with both hands. And it's ideal if you can retain your weapon at the same time, because you don't know how safe that scene is. You're patching them up because EMS has not arrived yet. Police have not arrived yet to declare the scene safe for the EMS to arrive. So you're going to have to do that yourself, FYI. Another reason to go hands-free is if for some reason you have done a horrible job planning your home defense plan and you're having to move people around out of harm's way before you can take care of whatever the problem is. Again, that's not the ideal situation. Plans can get screwed up, situations can change, and you might have to adapt your plan. And being able to retain your weapon and move people out of the way at the same time with both hands to be able to open doors, push people into rooms, whatever else, it's great to have both hands for that. So that could be another reason why you might want a sling to go hands-free.
But wait, are there any reasons why you might not want to have a sling on a home defense shotgun? Huh?
I'm sure there's other things that I missed as far as reasons why you'd want a sling for home defense. So if I did, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know how you use your sling for your home defense setup and some of the reasons why you might want to have one. Now let's get into why you might not want to have a sling for home defense. Here's a scenario for you. You're not super into guns. You understand that the world is getting really bad and you want something to protect your house with. Someone at the gun store said, oh, buy a shotgun. You know, it's a great home defense tool. You buy it, you put it under your bed, and that's it. You don't have any training. You've shot it a couple times, maybe shooting skeet and trap, and you have an understanding of how it works and how to use it, but that's pretty much it. Your wife's not really a gun person, so the only time she goes to the range is when you drag her to the range, and maybe sometimes you have to travel, or sometimes you have to, you know, go to work and leave the house, and you tell your wife, hey, sweetie pie, honey buns, if someone breaks in the house and I'm not home, here's what the shotgun is. It's already loaded. All you have to do is turn the safety off by pressing this button over here or pushing that over there or whatever and pointing at the bad guy and, you know, hold on tight and pull the trigger. If that's the level of training that maybe you have and everyone in your household has, I would not put a sling on your shotgun. This is just going to get in the way in a couple ways. One, if you for some reason need to reload the shotgun, this could be in the way for that. That's not great. You could get tangled up in it, and you also might have it get caught on something in your staging area. So let's say you put it somewhere, you go to pull it out of that staging area, it gets caught on something, you're half awake, you're super stressed out because someone's trying to break into your house, and you just keep tugging on this. You don't figure out how to fix the problem, you just keep tugging, and eventually someone gets to you and you're just still tugging on a shotgun. Not ideal. So again, if you have that level of training, I'd recommend first, before doing anything else, seeking a competent and qualified instructor in the ways of the boomstick. I would recommend MDFI. They have amazing shotgun classes. Check them out, but for whatever area you're in, find a competent instructor, get training on how to use this, and ideally you have everyone in your household have that same level of training, maybe even have training on how to use a sling as well, and then you could have a sling on your shotgun. But if you're in scenario A, I would not put a sling on your shotgun. Well, that's going to do it for this video, but don't worry. If you want to watch more videos about this shotgun, you can click on the series link at the end of the video in the end screen. That'll take you to the full playlist of videos on this shotgun. And if you want, you can also even go to my channel, hit subscribe, and then the next time a video in the series comes out on this shotgun or any of my other tactical shotguns, you'll be able to get notified and watch it right away. If you like this video, I really appreciate you hitting that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of me for some strange reason. And if you'd like to help support my channel monetarily, best way to do that and actually save money buying the stuff you're already going to buy is by clicking my link tree in the description or in the pinned comment below. That'll take you to all the links and show you all the discount codes, and you can buy super cool stuff and support the channel at the same time. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or prayer requests, you can put those in the comment section below. I love getting your prayer requests and I love reading those comments, so don't hesitate to put those in so that I can pray for you guys and just read your random comments. And as always, thanks for watching, stay free, and God bless.
Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.